Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my number one product in every category. I like to do this maybe like once a year just to give you an update on my number one absolute favorite product, especially around the middle of the year just before we wrap up on the end of the year where I give you my yearly favorite. These are like my top products in every category, and I feel like especially right now these products I've been using consistently for months and months. Like, it's not changing, guys. So I truly have been loving everything I'm going to share with you today. It's going to be in a tutorial style so I can show you, give you the proof. I want to showcase how I like to use it, why I like to use it the way I do, just give you the evidence, give you the receipts, you know. So with that being said, if you guys want to know what my number one products are in every category, then please continue watching. Starting off with my favorite foundation, this is the Unleashia Satin Wear Healthy Green Cushion. I wear the shade number 23W Bisque, and this has been my favorite foundation ever since I got it. I'm actually almost done with the shade that I have. I do have all three shades. I think they came out with a new darker shade, like slightly darker than 23. So I actually might try 23 next, but I definitely do need a refill. There is just so many things that I love about this cushion. First off, I actually really love the puff that it comes with. Even when I'm not using this foundation, I'm using this puff to blend in my concealer with other foundations. I just love the puff in general. But what I love about the packaging is that it's not like a normal cushion where it comes out of a sponge. You actually just press it from the side, so you can really control how much you are pressing out. So I feel like you are saving a lot of product. And what I actually like to do is to scoop the product off on my ring finger, put it on the back of my hand here, and I'll go in with my makeup spatula. I know it's a little tedious, but I just love using this spatula to apply my makeup because you can apply it really thinly. So just going in with the foundation. And this foundation has sort of like light to medium coverage, I would say. Definitely not full coverage, but it covers enough because I still want my skin to peek through. That looks like second skin, and you can see the way it goes on. It's like not super matte, but it's not glowy. I feel like you could really control the finish depending on the primer you're using, but it just looks like my skin, but better. You know, I do have a few foundations in rotation that I would like to get through, but whenever I need my makeup to look good, I'm going to an event, I'm going out, I'm always wearing the Unleashia cushion. It is just so good, guys, honestly. Like, this is probably my favorite product from Unleashia, perhaps. I have a lot of favorites from Unleashia, but like this one, just come on. So let me just do the other side as well. And I honestly just apply most of it to my cheek area. I apply a little bit on my nose here and then just like a little bit on my forehead, since like I do wear my bangs down, so there's like really no need to apply so much product, but you know, just to cover a little bit. And like on my nose I go like this because on the edge of my nose is where like it kind of does crease up a little bit, so I don't want too much product there. On my forehead. My favorite concealer, time and through, every time I do a video like this or a yearly favorite, my favorite concealer is always the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I'm currently using the shade Almond, but I do think this is a little bit dark and too yellow. I think the next time I get this concealer, I definitely will go a shade down and perhaps a different undertone, but this concealer has been my favorite since like, what, 2018? This is like probably like my fourth bottle at this point. And the reason why I love this concealer so much is that like under the eyes, it gives you really good coverage, but it doesn't look heavy or cakey or dry underneath the eyes. And because I have fine lines, that's really important. So when it comes to concealers like the Tarte Shape Tape, where it has really high coverage, more coverage than this, it just looks too drying. It looks too cakey underneath the eyes, where this one doesn't. Truly, I'm still trying to find a concealer that's better than this. I mean, I've been trying to try more concealers, but every time I do, I'm just like, I can't beat it. So what's the point of finding something better when this is perfection? So I'm just gonna let the under eye concealer sit for a bit because it gives more coverage. So I'm just gonna cream contour while we're here, and my favorite cream contour is the M Cosmetics So Soft in Terra. Mine is all beat up and dingy. I absolutely love this because The shade is not so gray. Like, it still has a bit of warmth, but it's not like a bronzer. So you could contour, you could bronze with this, but most importantly is that this is so soft, just like the name suggests, and it blends out like a dream. And I know it's so specific what I use this contour for. Like, I only use it for my jaw. I don't use bronzer or contour on my cheeks anymore. There are certain things in my routine that if I don't do, I personally can see a difference. Like, I have to add on my beauty mark back on. I have to do my jaw contour. Even though, like, if I didn't do it, like, other people couldn't tell, but I could tell. And I feel like that's like the perfect wait time to let my concealer set in. And again, just using my Unleashed Sheer Puff. And you guys know I'm not like a cream product type of person, but this cream blush is my favorite, and I've actually been using it every single time I do my makeup. It's also from Cosmetics as well. It's their So Soft blush in Chiffon. So this is like a cool tone mauvey pink, and it's so pretty. So I just like to take some on my brush. I never like to like apply it to my face. I feel like I can be pretty overboard with my makeup. Like, I'm pretty heavy-handed. So I just take it on my brush, apply it to the apples on my cheekbones, sort of where like my highlight would be, or like where you would contour. I just like to contour with my blush essentially. And I'm using like a bigger brush because I don't mind it like going around a bigger area, because I'm going to go in with a powder brush later and sort of like mid-tone blush. So this is like the sort of base, and once I put my powder on, it does diffuse a little bit. But isn't it the perfect cool tone pink? Like, it's stunning. And again, with this formula, it's so soft, so easy to blend. And the issue that I have with like a lot of cream products is that it will always look patchy. But with the Cosmetics So Soft line, I've never ever had that experience. It's just literally the best. We're gonna go in with my favorite loose powder to set. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder in Lavender. Lavender here is the key. If you can get your hands on this, get it, because it's been out of stock here in New Zealand for like months. So I've been using my one very lenient, only on special occasions. Today is a special occasion because I'm showing you my #1 products, but I'm taking it on a powder puff. And what I like to do is like tap pretty much like all of it off on the back of my hand, and that's what we have left. Like, I could even tap a bit more. And I like to go under my eyes here, tapping it in. And I just love this formula. First, I like its fragrance. There is a scent to it, so if you don't like that, just be aware. I love the fragrance of it. It smells like kind of like baby powder to me. I don't know why I love baby powder, but it smells really yummy. But also like the formula, like look how blurring. Obviously powders, a lot of powders are blurring, but this has a really soft blur. The lavender just like brightens up my skin. I mentioned I really like the Judy doll powder, and formula wise, yes, I do like the Judy doll powder more than this one, and packaging and everything. But with the Judy doll powder, the shade I have, I think I got like #2. It's a little too yellow, but there is a lavender version, so I'm gonna purchase the lavender version. And when I get the lavender version, it's game over for Fenty Beauty. I'm gonna be loving the Judy doll one way more, but just like as of right now, because the shade I have is not ideal for me, like it's just too yellow. I noticed like I took a photo and like my under eye looked just so yellow because of the powder, even though the finish of it is beautiful. Just right now, I'm still in my Fenty game because I don't have the Judy doll lavender one, and I don't want to get it right now just because I still have this one. I have another lavender powder from Cosmetics, so yeah, just as of right now, because I actually did film this video for my TikTok, and I got a comment there saying like, isn't Judy doll your favorite? I'm like, yes it is, but the color I have is like not my favorite right now, so we're still on Fenty Beauty. And then for pressed powder, yes, gotta have your loose and your pressed. My favorite pressed powder right now is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I have mine in #2 medium. I feel like I'm gonna hit pan on this soon, but I pretty much just use this to set the rest of my face, like around the edges, just to like give that extra blur. I know people don't want to be flat matte, but like I want to be flat matte. I want to look blurred, like I have a smoothing filter. Like I want to be the TikTok beauty filter IRL. Obviously that's not realistic, but That's what I want. Alright, so we zoomed up a little bit to do the brows on my favorite brow pencil. I have a few, but like my favorite one right now is the Alicia Shaper Defining Eyebrow Pencil, because this is one of the most skinny micro tip eyebrow pencils I've ever used. I always like to just fill in my brows on the bottom, which I feel like a lot of people say like don't do that because it looks fake, but I'm like, okay, I need my shape. Got my brow hairs. And the formula is just really nice because it's not like too waxy where it could look like really patchy very quick. And I actually did get my brows like kind of tattooed on early in the year, and I do still have like one session to go in for a touch-up. I don't know, I feel like because I was so scared, like I didn't want the tattoo to look so dark and intense and like really fake, so I asked her to do it like really natural. I really emphasized on natural, and she did make it natural, but maybe it's like a little too natural, like you can't really tell. So I'm like, I think I'm just gonna stick to like filling in my brows in. And personally, I am a brow powder gal, so my favorite is the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. I've been using this since high school. I've been using this specific eyebrow brush from high school. I don't even think this brand is around anymore. It was like a New Zealand brand, but I don't know, something about this brush for my brows, it's like perfect. But I like to just fill in the rest of my brow with the powder. And I'm focusing more on the edge, and then I'll go in with my pencil to do the front. And then for brow gel, this one from Cosmetics, the Micro Fluff Sculpting Brow Cream. Oh my gosh, again with the micro like brush tip, look how skinny and micro this is. This is what I need, and I feel like all brow gels and brow creams should just be like this because it's amazing. Cosmetics also has like a clear brow gel, and it has a really skinny wand as well. So I feel like Cosmetics, they just know what they're doing. Now we're moving on to the eyes, probably my favorite part. So I did one eye off a camera. We're gonna start off with eye primer first. My favorite is from Kaleidos Makeup. It's their Tone Activator Eye Primer. And I only like to use a little bit, so I'll put some on the back of my hand and just use my ring finger to dab it out. And then just tapping that onto my lid. I only use a thin layer, and a thin layer is enough. You can see that it just covers up like the darkness on my eyes, and it just helps with like eyeshadow performance really. It's one of those things like I'm sure my eyeshadow would still look good even if I don't use an eye primer and like just use concealer. But my current #1 eyeshadow palette as of recent has been the Flower Nose Celestial Castle palette. This was part of their recent collection, Moonlight Mermaid. The outer packaging is so pretty, but the shadows inside, it's a 5-pan palette, 4 mattes, 1 shimmer, and the shadows in here is just absolute perfection, like the muted rosy tones. I love how everything's a little bit on like the cooler side, but you still get that like rosy pink color, and I'm all about my pinks, so I'm gonna show you sort of like my go-to look that I do with this palette. So I like to take a mixture of this shade and the shade here, like sort of the 2 mid-tone shades. If I want something a little bit more neutral, I'll only go in with this shade here. If I want something just pink, I'll go in the shade, but I like to just mix my shadows. So just working that on my lids, just using windshield or wiping motions. The formula on Flower Nose eyeshadows is so beautiful. The mattes are very buttery and like has a really nice soft buildable formula. Taking those 2 shadows once again, I'm gonna run that on my lower lash line. I'm gonna try and focus it more to the outer edge here, and then bring what's left to the center and to the inner corner. Now I'm going to take that middle shimmer shadow, and this is going to go on at the inner third of our eyes, and this definitely works more like an eyeshadow topper, but I love using like eyeshadow toppers just as normal regular shadow because the micro glitters in this formula is so sparkly and it's so pretty. I feel like this shadow on its own is like already so worth. Like just look at that. It's literally the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter in an eyeshadow palette. We're gonna go in with eyeliners. So my first eyeliner, I know I have so many products, but my favorite pencil eyeliner to tightline is the Can Make Creamy Touch eyeliner. I'm using #2, which is the brown, but I have I think like all the shades because I'm obsessed with this formula. First off, the Skinny Micro Pencil. If there's anything you learned about me in today's video is that you know I love a Skinny Micro Pencil for the eyes. But the formula, like the name suggests, it's very creamy, so it's gonna be really easy to just like glide on in your tight line, and it's really pigmented and it stays in the tight line. It does not budge. I feel like when I was in high school, I would tightline with black eyeliner and it would always smear on the bottom. This doesn't happen. I never get smears on my lower lash line. Then for my number one liquid liner, I love the Flower Nose liquid liner. I've been using brown especially a lot. Like I always use brown for this day-to-day look. Only for more like cool tone and darker looks, I'll use black. They do have a black version of this as well, but the tip of this, again, micro. Can you even see on the camera? That's how small it is. All I really do is just use this to create my wing. Just the flick at the outer edge to get that point, and that's all I do. I know, very simple, but I'm gonna go in with the darkest brown from the Flower Nose palette, and this brown is really nice because it's more cool tone. It's like not chocolatey at all. It's like a cool tone brown, and I'm just gonna use that to sort of smudge out my wing and also just my entire lash line. And I'm gonna use that same cool dark brown shadow and use that at the outer edge just to give some definition over here. And then it's time to do the egg yourself, so like the under eye bag. I don't know if you can tell a big difference. Well, I feel like it is a pretty big difference, especially when I have my mascara on. Like this under eye bag here is like pretty highlighted. This one is like pretty flat. So my favorite products for this to highlight that area right now is the Floret Silkworm Mark Pen. I have it in number 2, and this is like a pinky pearlescent color, so it matches perfectly with the Flower Nose palette. So I'm just gonna use this to highlight my lower lash. So I'm gonna start from the inner corner of my eye. But then to contour the under eye bag, which I feel like completes everything, it's also from Floret as well. It's the double header eyeliner. The micro tip on this is so thin and the color is like a tinted brown, so it doesn't make it too obvious. And I like to start from the center of my under eye bag and sort of just flick it out. But now it's time for mascara, and I sort of go between two of my favorites, but right now this one has been the one I've been using every day. So this is the Opera My Lash mascara. It's a Japanese brand. The other mascara I really love is the Hamish one, which I do have, but I don't know, these days I've been really liking this one a little bit more. I think it's like the brush that I'm really liking. Again, very skinny and micro. So we're gonna use this for our lashes. I just love how you can control your lashes and instantly like create mango lashes with this. It separates and lengthens your lashes so well. And every time I wear this mascara, I just love how my lashes look. Back onto the cheeks, we're gonna contour a little bit now. My favorite powder contour is Flower Nose. I just love Flower Nose. A lot of their products are my favorites, as you can see from today's video. But I love their Chocolate Wonder Shop highlight and contour palette. It comes with 2 contours, 1 powder, and 1 highlight. As you can see, I've already hit pan in the bigger contour because I mostly use this bigger contour here to further contour my jawline and sort of like set that in that we did earlier. Then I'll go in with a mixture of this shade and this shade, the 2 contours. And I just like to go down the sides of my nose. Nothing too crazy for nose contour. Just a little definition, you know, on the sides, nothing too crazy. And then I like to use that matte white powder. I mean, it's not matte white, it's like a creamy, and just go underneath my eyes to further mattify and highlight. And I used to use the highlighter a lot, but these days I haven't really been using highlighter, like not even on my nose. I just like to be all matte. Then we come onto my blush, and if you guys follow along with my project pan, then this is going to be a spoiler because my favorite blush is the Flower Nose Unicorn Embossed Blush in the shade Unripe Peach, and I actually just hit pan on this, I think last week or the week before, but this is my favorite blush ever. Like, it's a peachy pink. It's not too pink, not too peach, a good in between. Also with Flower Nose formula again, the matte, it just flattens and blurs, something about it. And because we already have like a little bit of blush from the M Cosmetics, it just marinates so well. And I always like to apply a little bit more blush because it does, you know, fade a little throughout the day. And lastly, we come onto your lips. This is another Flower Nose products. The Flower Nose lip creams are my all-time favorites, but the two shades that I wear the most, I sadly have run out of completely. So with that being said, I have also been loving like a good gloss, but their Moonlight Mermaid gloss has been my favorite. This shade specifically in G06. It's like such a pretty pink. I wish my lips would always look like this color. I just love a good pink lip color now. Before I was all about my peaches, now I'm all about my pinks. Alright guys, here is the completed look using my number one products in each category. This is the look of Judy. This is my go-to glam with my go-to products. I love this look, obviously. I love all the products. I recommend everything with my whole heart and soul. Everything is going to be linked down below in my description. Just keep note that I do use affiliate links. Not everything is affiliate links, but if it starts with a Magic Go or if it's a YESSTYLE link, they are affiliated. And also with my discount codes, a lot of them are also affiliate as well, which means I just earn a small commission if you choose to shop through those links or use my codes when you shop. But that all does support me and my channel, and I think from this video alone you can see all of these products, how much I love them, how much I use them. So yeah, with that being said, everything will be linked down below. But thank you guys so much for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, if you could give the video a thumbs up for me, I would appreciate it so much. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching as always guys. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!